nobody there.
No, that's okay. You just have to talk anyway because then it saves. So that's why like when people will go online and they'll just be sitting for a while, you have to like pretend like a bunch of people are there. So, we're here in Philadelphia talking about a bunch of different really cool stuff and we wanted you guys to come and be involved.
There's two people there.
Hey guys. Yeah. So we were thinking that it's like really interesting that
This is so weird. There's 4 people. I've never gone live before. This is so weird.
Isn't
There's
it
6
weird?
people.
Hey guys.
This-
Oh, I got 3 likes already. I told her I'd let her come live with me. We even have a cat. Hello from Wisconsin. Hey guys. Oh, hey Bort, where have you been? I thought you weren't my friend anymore. I'm glad to see you here. That's good. Right, all good. Hey guys. So we actually don't have any agenda, so I figure we'll just like hang out with you guys. We've been talking about stuff for like hours now. Do you want to introduce your book or something? Why don't you plug yourself?
Oh, sure.
Here. Can we plug it? It's up to you.
Maybe in a couple minutes.
All right.
My book is really deep.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We've just been talking about so it's actually interesting that she and I know each other from like gender critical spaces. And I'm gonna allow you. I won't introduce you for you. I'll let you decide how you want to introduce yourself. Just because I don't know what your boundaries are.
Oh, sure. I'm Nevlin.
Okay. So
Maybe some people have seen me before. Nevlin. That's N3VLYNNN on Instagram, on YouTube, on my website, on everything.
So she's actually in my city for a little while and isn't from my city originally. So we linked up, which is really cool because you're like literally the first person I've ever linked up with from the community.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wonder, maybe I think you're the first person to.
So we've literally been I guess we've burned through all the good conversations too. We've literally been having conversation for the past 5 hours straight. We made tacos. We discussed a lot of good things and primarily just the need for women's spaces and
this cat, she doesn't like being pet everywhere.
Oh, but you were
okay.
chilling. It's okay. She's been chilling with us all day. And we did just put her on live, so she's a little upset. But what are you guys up to? We've just been talking about the need for so we were talking about the need for women's spaces, and Evelyn was made a really good point where she was there's actually a lot of queer spaces and they do a really good job of creating community and community spaces, and we don't have that. And I was well, the reason we don't have that is because we're not allowed to have that, because it's I've had this dream of wanting to open up a Korean spa. So there's one Korean spa here that's a fully nude, female only spa, and it's for, they have a steam room, they have a charcoal room, they have 3 baths, they have 3 tubs, one's a hot tub, one's a medium tub, one's a cold tub. And it's all just about women's wellness, and it's this really hole in the wall niche place, and it's mostly Korean and Chinese women. And my friend found out about it, and so we go a lot, and it's a really kind of closed, low-key community. And it's I would love to open up something like that because there really doesn't exist anything like that anywhere else in the area, and we have to travel kind of far to get to it. But I was could you even imagine if it became a problem that I made it a female exclusive place? I wanted to be, so one of the times that I had gone, it was a mother who had taken her daughter there for her 18th birthday. And she's I didn't know if this was going to be awkward or not, but she's it's actually been wonderful. And we got massages and it's just been such a healing experience. And there's no reason that women shouldn't be allowed to have spaces like that. And we have a lot of really good spaces online, I feel like, where we connect with a lot of women, and it's really rare that I could actually connect with you in real life. And I've connected with a lot of really amazing women online, but we're still human beings. Like, we need in-person contact. We still need IRL community.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
Well,
Being live is really weird, and I'm used to it.
I'm not used to it.
She's not used to it yet.
I'm just processing what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean,
I'm gonna bring it closer so we can just make sure it catches our voices. Because I can't test it.
I guess also because I wasn't actually expecting us to get into an actual conversation about this stuff. Because I was like, oh, let me go live for like 5 minutes to check it out and be weird. And
I kind of like caught her off guard. It's like, you want to go live?
Well, we were gonna post a photo, and then I was like,
a photo
then you're like, you want to go live? I was like, okay, cool. That sounds like
a quick second.
Risque, and then.
And now we have 40. No, wait,
no, we have 17 people.
Oh, I was reading
That's
the
45 seconds.
Six. We have 17. So just imagine we have a room of 17 people right now. Like, that's. I like thinking of it like that, and it's 17 people who are probably otherwise physically alone.
Apart. Yeah.
Right.
Which I just was like, thankfully I've been able to find like some in-person women's community here. Just like not gender critical. That's the thing, is like when you find spaces where it's just like it's okay to, it's named as a women's space, and like it's okay to, and people are being authentic, those spaces tend to be accepting of these ideas. Like I didn't go like everyone that I spoke to about this stuff, like, which wasn't a whole lot of people, but the few people that I did sit down and share these things with, these ideas that I've been talking about, they were like, oh yeah, and it's just like, this is real life, like, right. Because they weren't operating on this like this foundation of like putting up a front of queer shit, like, oh, like let's introduce
like
ourselves with our pronouns. What's your pronouns? Even though everybody there is a black woman,
demi-romantic or a-romantic, demi-girl.
Yeah, like, when you step into spaces that don't have that, and it's all women, and they have named it as a women's space, like a women's collective, they're going to be more likely to be open to these ideas, because just naturally more people are like that. And so, but at the same time, this like a lot of people have been, a lot of spaces have been infected by like this wokey shit.
Yeah, I totally.
How many people who are watching, right? This is so fucking weird. There's 28 people here. How many people who are watching? Are they in Philly? How many people who are watching this actually like follow me or know of me?
She does.
I mean, some people, there's some overlap there.
Definitely like, on Instagram. Too.
So that's
I've never promoted you on my. I feel like unless I made like the explicit connection by like sharing something about you, it's less likely that there's like a overlap on like that platform. But like Instagram, I've made the connection. So like I feel like if we were live on Instagram, everybody would be like, yeah.
Where is this, YouTube?
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel too.
So plug yourself.
Oh. It's Nevlyn. It's N3V LYNNN.
I'll share after the live. I'll share all of her stuff. But The one thing that really, like, I don't remember, you, like, commented on some of my stuff, and then, did I find you on Instagram? I think I found you.
I found you.
You found me on YouTube, but I think I found you.
I found you on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I found you. I have like a bunch of cat hair everywhere. Then I found you on Instagram, and then we.
Oh,
yeah,
you found me? Okay, I don't know.
I found you on both platforms.
Okay.
First.
Well, I just remember going through all of your stuff, and like, if any of you guys have seen the one video that I did that was just talking about femininity, it was like kind of like one of my more controversial ones. The points I wonder if this will brighten it up. Oh, whatever, I'll do with that later. One of the points that I had made was that I believe that a lot of female art forms, and especially dance forms that, you know, promote sort of like sensuality and female sexual health, for example, twerking, which is a derivation of like West African dance forms that are really like percussion heavy, and then they were actually imported to the Americas through Puerto Rico through a dance form called bomba. And then it really became like a Caribbean dance form, like a lot of like, you know, twerking, which again is really rooted in West Africa, but it's really, it promotes feminine health through core strength, through pelvic floor repair and strengthening, and a lot of these things that are necessary for good feminine health, sexual health, you know, pre-fertility health, through even healing after childbirth. You know, women who I've seen through childbirth who we actually had a like a ballerina, but she was like versed in like a lot of different dance styles, and she birthed really easily, and she healed really well from, you know,
ballet will do a number on your body.
Yeah, her feet were like kind of messed up from it, but but I said it's such a shame that it's like we'll have some of these dance forms, and we talked about this before, that will be like kind of stolen from women, and then it's like used to objectify women, and now they're like forced to perform like a circus when really it's a art form and a dance form that came from women. So Nevelyn does pole dancing in a way that I think like combines so many different aesthetics that I think is really interesting. So when you had like added me and I like went through your page, I was like, oh my God, this is like, you were like the embodiment of everything I was trying to like explain about these sensual dances that I think have been mischaracterized as like slutty or like, you know, thotty or whatever. That it's such a disservice to women that we like rob women of these opportunities for like health and, you know, artistic expression and athleticism. So yeah. So I like immediately connected with the stuff that you had on your work. And can I talk about your book?
Yeah, my book is right here. Hold up.
Bubba! She's cat sitting.
Bubba! He's not supposed to be on the kitchen counter.
I will not tell her that, but somebody said that you are very hot.
Who said that?
Oh, I said I would not tell you, but I did tell you.
Who said that?
I don't know. It was like in Korean.
Oh. Can I, like, my book is resting
here
on this.
So she wrote like actually a whole book, which blows my mind. People that write books blow my mind. Like, how can you actually get that done? And hers is really big.
It was God.
Hello. We're good.
This is my book. Ooh, Nevelyn, My Path to Healing and Creative Liberation. So this is my memoir. It's 542 pages. I published it last fall, and yeah, it's very special to me. Thank you. I designed the leotard that I'm wearing on the book. And I have some photos of me in the book. Yeah, I haven't shown you this, but I have. This is 8 years.
Wow. Yeah, you designed that. That's really cool.
That's my pole. I designed the leotard. This is my work. This is my space. And I worked with a Black woman photographer to photograph me on all these shoots, like really intentionally. And I just wrote my story for the past 8 years, navigating my life at like my healing journey as a woman, family shit, you know, everything that I've been through and all like my significant life challenges as I've been carrying this art form with me as a pole dancer and navigating the pole dance industry so people get to learn about like that world.
Yeah.
You know, through because nobody's really written.
Yeah.
Everybody's like all like professional pole dancers. They're all like you just see them and you just see them doing cool shit and flipping around on Instagram and you know and they're mostly white women as well and I'm just like, you just never know their trajectory, and it's just, and some of them have had it real fucking smooth, and I'm like, I have not had it smooth,
Right.
and my trajectory has just been really unique because I am who I am, and I haven't always fit into those spaces, as I mentioned to you before. So I've constantly like been like a misfit in all these spaces, and it's just been a constant journey of like just seeing my gifts on not just as a pole dancer, but like I also made a film. I have a documentary on Black women and civil rights that I made like
She's done
8 years ago.
All of my like bucket list stuff she's already crossed off.
It's God.
Like so amazing.
It's just God it's just God flowing through my hands.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's all me. I think that I've just been assigned to me. Like the Black women and civil rights film, that wasn't just me. Like I was 22.
Yeah.
That came. I hated history.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was my least favorite class.
Yeah.
So it came through me. I was just supposed to be the vessel that it came through, and that's what this book felt like. It felt like I was like.
That's
6 months
huge.
Later.
When it's like we learn to like when we can learn to remove our blockages, we can actually like allow things to flow through us. No, it's true. It's true. It's amazing. I don't think you realize how amazing that is. Like to really just sit down and focus for that long and like really, I think a lot of us can start projects and we can have this like huge initial burst of motivation and inspiration, but to like see it through to its completion.
Girl,
and it takes a confidence too. I think it takes a confidence to complete something, to say, you know what, like I have so much faith in this and I believe in this so much. I'm going to make sure that it materializes. I'm not going to just leave it laying around on like the cutting room floor. This wasn't an exercise.
I couldn't, because the process of writing this book, like when I was writing it, I was, for the first month, I was staying up every single night till 4 a.m. like every night. And, and no days off. And it was just like I had to. It wasn't like I was trying to force myself or whatever. It was like I was on unemployment benefits and this was my full-time thing. And then, what was I going to say about this? Seeing it through. This was my first like print book that I published. I had a bunch of writings like that I'd been wanting to publish via ebook for so long, for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to wait till I have the resources. And this book got long. I was like, oh, this is supposed to be a 3-page article.
Mm-hmm.
It got longer. The first time I sat down to write, I thought it was going to be 2 pages, 3 pages. I didn't even know what the fuck I was going to write. And it was 20 pages.
Wow.
So I was like, as I kept writing, I was like, okay, well, I guess I got to go deeper here. Okay, well, I guess I got to go deeper here. And then I kept writing and writing and writing. And it got longer. And I was like, how long is this shit going to be? Oh, okay, it's going to be a PDF. Oh, okay, I guess it got to be an ebook. Okay, I guess it has to be a print book.
Now it's got to be that's like...
And so I was like, I didn't want to go do all that work of making. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
And I think that's so much of just taking it like literally one step at a time. And before you know it, you've like walked this whole amazing journey. Like literally, and I know it's so cheesy, but it's so true. every journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, like starts with a single first step, you know, and you just start putting like one step in front of another. I think once you don't see it as like this vast expanse.
I didn't sit down. I didn't say I'm gonna
sit down and write a huge book.
I didn't. I was like, I just want to write an article.
Right.
A 3-page article, and I didn't know what I was, and it turned into that because I was opening my heart to writing what I need to write. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like the process of opening your heart and your spirit to what's supposed to move through you is more important than like being determined or because once you start, because that's where it came from. It came from having the flow and like responding to the assignment.
Right.
It didn't come from me being like, I'm going to sit down and write a book and it's going to be, I was like.
Or trying to muster up your own energy. It's almost like Tai Chi, where Tai Chi is about not trying to draw your own energy source, but you take energy that's coming from around you and you use it. Like you redirect it. It's like if someone's going to throw you a punch, you can use their energy against them. So you're almost expending no energy. So it's almost like what you were saying, like you're just letting it flow through you. You're not trying to like, you know, grab up all this energy out of yourself and exhausting yourself. You're just opening yourself. But I think a lot of that was you had removed your own blockages, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of us struggle. And I think that that's what's really kind of missing. And I think what's powerful in the dancing that you do and the physical work, we see the mind is so separate from the body that it's like we can sit and be intellectual and complete these tasks. It's like, oh, if you can work out, that's great. But, you know, who's got time for that? But it's like when we remove joyful movement and sensual movement and living and existing in our body and being intellectually, physically in our bodies, fully in our bodies, moving in our bodies, like there's some muscles that we never tap into ever. We just don't use or move or engage with. And we sit and I just feel like we're so blocked and we're so sedentary. I feel like a lot of that is the fact that you've allowed yourself to, like, when you can just move and open your whole body up and just start to let that shit go and stop holding everything in and staying so like tense and held.
Yeah.
That's why I think that what you do with dance and like the example that you said is so important for women. Because I think women sit with a lot of clenched energy when like we need to release, we need to move, we need to like let our blood flow through our whole body. And live in our own bodies and exercise sovereignty over our bodies. Like we let the whole world dictate how we use our bodies. We need to reclaim ownership of it, and I think dance does that.
It can.
Yeah.
It has the power to. It, you know, with everything, it's a tool. It depends on how you use it. You know. But yeah, I mean,
but the way you seem to, because we talked about too, because it can be subjugated, it can be taken, it can be used and imposed upon you, and it's like, all right, now you're gonna dance, you know, and you're gonna do it this, and we want it, like we're gonna throw dollar bills at you. It's so taking these like inherently female creative life forces and like using them against us is so cruel. And I think that's where this like paradox comes, when it's like something that can either be so empowering and liberating or like so deeply objectifying, all in this sort of like same form. And we need to like be more nuanced about it. It's like just because something's been used against us to objectify us, to control us, doesn't mean that, okay, well, it's this inherently horrible objectifying thing. We need to discard that. No, that is a life form that came from women. You know, we don't just we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Whatever that.
That's why I wrote about the pole dancing. I don't know if you saw my blog on House of Isis, but I wrote an article about this whole thing, just to set the record straight, because not that I had been recently getting a whole ton of flack from like the radical feminist community or whatever. By the way, I don't identify as a feminist, but you know, some people after they hear me talk might call me a feminist, but whatever, you know. So, it is what it is, but I just want to set the record straight about pole dancing and that, like what it, because I noticed that because I am gender critical, that I attract a lot of those people to my page, and some people are not like that. I don't know, they're like confused. They don't know, they don't really know. They're there like to kind of take in like what I have to. It's funny, right? It's like they're not really taking in the whole person.
Right.
You're taking in what I'm saying because it's on point, and that I'm making a lot of sense, and I'm like sharing like things intelligently. But when I share my pole dancing, then you like, oh,
Right.
what, I don't know, I don't know.
Right.
But I'm just like, but you don't understand that the reason why I'm able to say what I'm saying and say these intellectual things and write the way I write is partially because of pole dancing.
Right.
It's because the woman that I am today has been built on the strength of my pole dance journey. That's been an integral aspect of it. I'm not saying that it's all of it, but it's
Right.
a piece of the pie
Right.
that if it were missing, I would not be, I may not even be outspoken.
Right.
I may not even speak up for myself as much. You know how much I've had to speak up for myself, just
Wow.
like navigating in the pole community, or speak up for myself in bed, or speak up for myself like just as a sex. That's like it. That's like
Yeah.
the root of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you want to just, you don't want to look at the root. You want to discredit. It's like you don't want to look at that. Like you don't want to give
I
credit where
think it
credit's
comes
due.
down to, again, it's like because of the pain and the trauma of the fact that we've had these things used against us and turned against us as like a way to subjugate us. Because one of the criticisms that related to what you're saying that I've heard from radical feminists and gender critical and whatever is that, well, if you are gender critical, but then if you don't totally relinquish all gender, right, which in their mind is like any sort of femininity, if you don't totally spurn femininity, which is anything that's, it's hard to say even what that is, but I guess, and I guess that would count for like feminine art forms or, female based dance forms and movements and rhythms and creativity, then it's like, well, then you don't really get the whole picture. And it's like, but do you get the picture?
Exactly.
Or are you assuming that because we've had our creativity, our sensuality, our bodies, our rhythm, our music, our dance used against us and weaponized against us to subjugate us and to exploit us, doesn't mean that we surrender those things that we created or that were important to us. It's like we don't need to like spurn all that we've created just because it's been like used to harm us, right? It's not the dance form that has oppressed us. That's not the root of the issue.
It's how it's been used.
Right.
And yeah, that's how it's been used. And like we were saying, it's a tool, and you can use it in any way. I mean, you can use water in any way. You can use fire in any way.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely. And to say that we just can't engage in these things, and there just needs to be more nuance in the conversation. That's why I just was really like interested. Let's see what people are saying. That's why I was really interested in like, see, femininity is powerful and beautiful. Enjoy this vessel we have for maybe 80 years, if we're lucky. Absolutely. This is, hi, I'm a new rap femme. I just found your channel, and I've already watched all your videos. Oh, thank you. You're a wonderful woman. Thanks for all that you do. Oh, thank you, Fantasy Toyland. I don't even know how you would strip away all gender, to be honest. And that's the problem. That Lita, you're right. Like, what at a certain point, what's gender, and then what's literal femaleness? And we want to sit there and argue that, oh, men are more prone to violence. We want to point out these differences between males and females, things that make us inherently different. But then we want to say, well, anything that, is that we associate with female is it's a gender portrayal, it's a gender performance, assuming that we're always performing. The assumption that women are in a state of performing for men in a perpetual state.
It's so offensive. I hate that shit. I wrote about that shit too, because my mom used to get on my nerves about wearing my stripper heels.
Yeah, like, oh, what do you know, these guys? I don't want to alter myself for these fucking degenerates. Like,
for real, they're degenerates.
Fuck what they think. Fuck you.
I don't care.
Right.
I don't give a damn.
That's why
they all get blocked. They all get blocked.
Yeah, and I know, and that was actually one of the first things I noticed about you was you had that like long like disclaimer where you're like, basically, if you're a male in this space, you're here as a guest and you're already on thin ice. So don't fuck with me. If you even go near my DMs, you're so far blocked. Like, you gave this whole list and it was so unapologetic, and you were like, you are absolutely here as a guest. Like, and I'm already extending quite the olive branch to allow
much grace.
You. Yes.
I'm extending so much grace by allowing you to view my page.
Yes.
To view my stories.
You're gonna act right.
You are lucky fucking duck.
Yes.
Because all of these motherfuckers ended up in the fucking blocked ass graveyard.
The graveyard.
They are if you see my block list, hundreds. Good. Maybe at this point 1,000.
Good. And look. And it's not like, you still have a full like following list. And it shows that setting boundaries is never going to leave you. One of the biggest things I think that women have an issue with, that, if they set boundaries, then no one's going to like me anymore and I'll just be alone again. That's the biggest lie. Setting boundaries, in my experience, has almost increased the right people entering my life. It's increased like people, rising to the occasion. I think it comes from like a self-esteem issue. It's like, well, if I set boundaries, no one's gonna want to rise to what I think my bar should be. So I just have to lower it so that I guess some people can get in, because then I'm just gonna have like nothing.
Self-worth.
It's not true.
And scarcity.
Yeah.
Which is self-worth stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I'm like, I mean, and I don't know. I don't prioritize like male presence in my life like that. I mean, they have their role and everything like we talked about, but it's just, I don't know. And this is like a whole nother shit, but like, my brother died a few years ago. And he comes to me in my dreams, and he comes to me with this, he comes to me in his human form, mm-hmm. and these are like vivid dreams. Mm-hmm. But his energy is different. Yeah. His energy is like powerful and vibrating. He has like very divine masculine energy. Yeah. Like very like, I am your big brother. Right. Right. I'm like, and that's the only real like male presence that I have in my life. That's like, and I'm just like, that's a kind of energy that men should be aspiring or working towards or maintaining. And that's all I want in my life. If you're going to be a man who's in my actual like life, mm-hmm. Like you need to be stepping into that shit. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because, and he's not physically around, but he does spiritually protect me, and he does visit me and everything. But that's why I
think that's why it's so important that we do have a prototype almost for what a man, either how he should be or what sort of energy he should come with in a way that's, yeah, no, I know what you're saying. And I think that's because you had a blueprint that you can kind of set a certain standard. That's like, and that's why, when we were talking about like how men should act we know that it's important that men have other men to role model themselves after. And if we don't have the right kind of blueprint or like actually good strong men that we've like identified as like these are these are the healthy ways to manifest that sort of masculinity. And we can't sit there and acknowledge that men are more aggressive, men are more prone to violence, men are more competitive, and men are these things, and then say, oh, but masculinity doesn't exist or is totally a construct or whatever. There are certain attributes. No, there are just certain qualities. And the fact of the matter is that male aggression is actually a really powerful source of vitality. But when men don't have the right blueprint or knowledge of like how they're supposed to be manifesting it or why they're supposed to be manifesting it or with what intention or what purpose, that it's not to be turned inward on your family. It's not to just be like thrown out in every random direction, but when they can like really harness it as like a source of vitality to like create and to push through and to defend and protect and provide and to, you know, be self-sacrificing and, you know,
That's what they're built for.
because otherwise it turns into like the queer territory where it's everybody's just a mixture of like mixing the act like
motherfuckers wearing skinny jeans all the goddamn time and you know y'all gonna hate me for this, wearing fucking dresses and skirts and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
with
saying,
a full beard or like
I mean, even I just like it's more about the behavior than the dress, because you know, just give it a couple of years, you're gonna see rappers coming on like and they're gonna wear the skirt. You're gonna see that. They're gonna
Young
wear the
Thug
long.
already did.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You're gonna see them wearing the long, all different kinds. The Catholic girl skirts and the knee length skirts and shit. With
all the fetish gear, and it's fetish gear. It's fetish gear. And this is another thing, and I want to hear from you guys at some point. And like when I'm like more coherent, we can like get into this. But like, what is the line between fetish gear and like healthy, normal gender nonconformity, right? Because we always talk about that the way to resolve this trans thing is to encourage that gender nonconformity is okay. Homosexuality is a normal variation of the human experience. We know that. And we know that through animal studies. Mammals exhibit, there's, you know, similar proportions of homosexuality in mammalian studies. We know that it's normal, it's a normal variation, so it's like, and with that sometimes comes some gender nonconformity. But then it's like you get into like a threshold of gender nonconformity into like fetish gear. So at what point is it somebody is engaging with their fetish in public, where you have a man who's wearing spiked. All right, I was watching some person posted this video. It was some guy who was wearing fishnet like bodysuit all the way up, these like super hiked up shorts, spiked heels. Some like weird. I was like, sir, if I was ever walking with my kids and I fucking saw you wearing that bullshit, like it would be such a problem. Like get in the house, go do that shit somewhere else. There's a time and a place. It's all, if that's what you're into.
Yeah, go and do that in the club or some shit.
Yeah, but come on, bro. Like you're walking in broad daylight. Like that's not gender nonconformity. That's being a dickhead. Like it really is. Like you're
being a male.
You're engaging with your fetish, and I don't consent, and I don't consent to my kids having to engage in it with you. Now, it's like, but is that, then again, you have like, you know, the kid who maybe wants to wear like a floral pattern or.
That's the
sort of gender nonconformity.
I feel like with what I said, there's probably some people who might think that I'm against gender nonconformity, but of course I'm not. Like, right. I myself technically am gender nonconforming. I mean, I'm pretty feminine.
I think in some way, right? Who's perfectly gender conforming?
No, nobody. But I mean, you know, by the definition, what we're talking about, you know. Yeah. I mean, in terms of presentation and stuff, you know. Yeah. I've designed a lot of like androgynous clothes intentionally for myself.
Right.
I like androgynous and masculine presenting women. You know, that's who I love. You know, so but it's like when it comes to, you know, me talking about like, oh, like the men in skinny jeans and stuff like we were talking about before, we're talking about like not people who are like authentically just trying to like explore their femininity, but people who are like on some wokey bullshit.
Y'all
Like
some woke bullshit.
like
Sometimes
you know
that's
they just
literally all
you know what I'm saying, like just oh you know like just not they in their highest like their best version of themselves in their natural form, their authenticity, they are masculine
right.
men.
Right.
However,
right.
they are
right.
not stepping into that,
Right.
and they are doing some frou-frou bullshit.
It's an avoid. No, I really believe that it's an extended adolescence, and there's an avoidance because with really stepping into like yourself as a female being or a male being, and all that comes with that, there's great responsibility in this world. There's things that we have a responsibility to our community, to our families, to ourselves, our groups, our our just things that we have to create. And I feel like when you can kind of live in this like weird abstract world where it's not clear what your job is or what you're supposed to do or what you contribute, and it's all fluid and weird, and it really is, it's like it's
fluid.
No, it's just a way to like avoid life. I think it's like it's a disconnection.
Can I say something about that I haven't even brought up today? Okay, so I've been hearing this from women, even just recently, like, you know, younger women, when, you know, they're talking about their sexuality, they say, oh yeah, you know, I like what I like when I like it. And I'm just like,
that's just like a
can you stop, please?
With the games.
Just say you're bisexual.
Right.
Stop making this as if it's a free for all freedom movement.
Right.
That
and like
because you're free spirited, that this makes you free spirited.
Right. And interesting and
it doesn't.
Or say that you're straight and stop pandering to men thinking that they want you to seem like, oh, you're open to it and you'll try it out or you'll do the threesome. Like, or set some boundaries. Be like, no, I don't want to be polyamorous.
Or stop pandering to the queer community by saying you like what the fuck is that? I be hearing that shit, you know, and I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like what I like. I'm very particular.
People
about
take
what I
it
like.
If you say you don't like something that you're somehow like the whole like don't kink shame or oh you're like, you know, shaming other people that do, and it's like, or no, I have a sexuality, which up until about 15 minutes ago, that was a respected thing. Like, where the fuck did this all change? You know? And I feel like a lot of it is just about, like, making everybody seem so, like, sexually available and chronically unique. Like, I'm so unique, I can't even exist, like, in society or, like, function and have a job because it's, like...
I'm telling you, like... How many times have I been hearing this? Like, I'm just calculating it. It's because I think I peaked when I heard it like a few days ago, or whatever, just around me. And then I realized like how many women I've been around in the past like few years, like just from time to time, that I've been hearing this shit of like, I just like what I like. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
I don't like everybody.
Yeah.
I don't like even within a particular gender.
It's not even
I
just male or female,
within that.
Right.
I don't like every type of person.
Yeah, like my pussy is not an equal opportunity employer.
No,
like,
I don't.
Yeah.
I have a type, you know, or I have like types
or have requirements.
Archetypes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a certain archetype. I'm not for everybody.
Right. Right. And I think that's part of like what this queer thing is trying to give it. Oh, I've got a little bit of everything. What you looking for? Oh, you want tits? I got those. You want the
Yeah.
beard? Got that too. Like, it's just like pulling out like a bag of like bullshit. And it's like you're not for everybody. Wait, before my phone dies. Wait, is there like an extent? I can be it all.
Bruh, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. That's